What's poppin', guys? We're back at it with another Not So Daily Dino. We got Zack Coker, the one and only Z Cokes. This man is an absolute legend. He's a full-time freelancer. He shoots a lot of concerts. He shoots for United. He does it all, man. This guy's an absolute goat. So check it out. Learn a little bit about him. You know how it is. Sheesh. This is crazy. Okay.
A wild one.
This is a crazy one right here, dude. All right, Mr. Zack, let's introduce yourself. And then, just talk about, kind of how you started and, yeah.
All right. So my name is Zack Coker. Born and raised in Los Alamos, New Mexico. Been a photographer. I've been shooting probably for the last 10 years now. That's when I kind of put my official start on it, but I have been kind of dabbling in taking photos for a while. Starting just on my flip phone back in the day. That's kind of what my first camera was.
Yep.
Taking just pictures of the cool sunsets that we have in the state.
Wait, what kind of flip phone was it? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't. I remember I was always getting those ones that
so
like
funny.
people weren't getting.
Yeah, I was like, I can imagine.
It wasn't like the
Zack.
Razor. It wasn't like the chocolate. It was just like some that other people didn't have.
Okay, sure. You're starting off with just OG,
like,
bro. Just original, how it is.
You know?
Yeah.
It wasn't the nicest one, but it wasn't the most, basic one.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, I started on the phone. After that, first thing I got was a GoPro when they first started coming out. I was always shooting like the things I was doing, a lot of like BMX and biking, hiking, things like that.
That all rhymed to BMX, biking, and hiking.
Oh, I start laying it down, dude.
Bars. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
But that's what I was first kind of documenting with the GoPro, that kind of thing. And then kind of just transitioned to just not really out of it, but just kind of didn't really push it too much farther than that. And then later on, kind of later in high school, when Instagram was becoming big, that's the first kind of introduction I got into the big photography world, and really saw what else was out there, and saw what people were doing, and a lot of it was people in big cities, shooting what they were seeing and shooting the stuff like that. So that was really new perspective to me, and it really caught my eye and just kind of opened up a realm of like what photography could be. And like,
do you think it caught your eye because you grew up in like Los Alamos and like it's not the big city, and so like you're seeing all this crazy stuff and you're like, whoa, like do you think that's why it caught your attention more?
Yeah, I think probably it did show just like, all those accounts were like, the dopest shooters in the biggest city. So it did just show like the best of like all these places, and it just did really make it look like really nice, and like a lot of stuff was out there. But I think it just was cool to see how people can put their own, twist on a place, because these cities have been around forever, but these are new shooters that are just putting their taste on it and shooting it with their eye and everything. So it was really cool to just kind of see that side of stuff, and that kind of sparked my curiosity again. And that Christmas of like first year of college is when my dad actually got me a DSLR. That was my first.
Wait, what camera was it? What was
it? A Nikon D3300.
D33. I think mine first the D34 or the D54 or something like that. Yeah, so Nikon gang, that's hilarious.
Nikon gang, dude. It lasted me a good while too. And I stuck with Nikon for one more after that. I got the D750.
Oh yeah, is that the one like your second body that you use now? Okay, yeah.
Still got it.
Nice.
Still kicking, dude. I'm still a Nikon shooter. Sick. Halfway.
Nice.
But yeah, I got my camera from my dad, because he was actually a photographer, like growing up my whole life. Not like a professional photographer,
just
but
like a
he was
hobby
always
kind of
just
guy.
like I mean, he had a camera. He was shooting everything that we were doing. There was pictures hung up on my walls that he had taken back with film cameras of like my mom and us when we were like really small, and just like that kind of thing. So he always was doing that. He had an eye for it. I mean, he's actually been doing it for a while. Actually, I remember a story that he told me.
Yeah.
When he was in college, him and his buddy had a van that they had converted. They had a dark room in the back of his
wild.
School bus.
Bro,
and
that's
they went
crazy.
On a road trip.
That's crazy.
They were in North Carolina, and they came out west.
Yeah.
And that's when my dad kind of like, I guess, really fell in love with it out here and been out here ever since. But
that's
I remember him
crazy.
telling me that
What
story.
a guy,
so,
bro.
yeah,
That's wild.
he's been at it for some time. And
what does he think about the fact that you're doing it now, like full time? Does he like it?
Yeah. We always talk about it. I was actually on the phone with him earlier today, and we
Yeah.
were talking about it. And he was telling me he was like shooting some new things that he had never really like considered. He's getting textures of like bark and stuff that he would walk past 100 times, and like so yeah, it's fun to talk with him about it. And we would always go out on like hikes and stuff, and just shoot and do that kind of thing. But yeah, he was always the one that kind of was the photographer in the family.
That's cool
and stuff. So I think it's cool. I think I got his eye from it.
Nice. That's sick.
Yeah.
I have my dad's mom was a painter. My mom's uncle was a painter. My mom's second cousin is a painter. And then I'm the one who got like, I guess I'm the artist that continues it because no one else in my family does it except for like, actually, I think I'm the only one like out of all the kids that actually like create something, which is pretty weird. So I kind of relate to like what you're saying about your dad. Like, so yeah, that's funny. But anyway, so you go to UNM, and then kind of what happened from there?
Yeah. So when I was at UNM, I wasn't really, doing photography as a job or going to school for it or anything. It was always just kind of a hobby of mine that I would do when I was out hiking or just, taking pictures of the things that I enjoyed. So I actually went to school for exercise science. I got my degree in exercise science. And I worked in that field for a little while after finishing, while kind of building up this photography thing. It kind of turned in from a hobby into people wanting to pay for things. So I was like, well,
say less.
Might as well try and, do it. So, builded that up for a couple years, just doing shoots, when I could on top of my job and everything. And then, eventually just got to the point where I felt like I could leave my full-time job and just focus, well, there was a little while where I was doing part-time work, part-time photography.
I see.
Getting the feel of it. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Like,
just go for it.
Just go all in.
Nice. And how long ago was that?
Time. Just over a year now.
Just over a year now?
We're coming up on a year, I want to say. It was last Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
I remember that was my last day. I remember it was like the week before last.
Of the part-time job?
Yeah.
And what was that?
It was a physical therapy tech.
Oh, that was, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So I was doing that.
Yeah.
And just got to the point where I was ready to leave and
so
jump
sick.
in.
That's so sick.
It's kind of wild. Like as soon as I left, like a bunch of kind of just like
kind of came at you.
Kind of jobs just started coming, and I was like, well, like let's do it.
Go.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Over those years before though, I think it was a lot of building just relationships with people and like networking and stuff. Because a lot of the people I'm working for now or have done work for, like it wasn't just like hey, I want to shoot. It was like years of them being familiar with my stuff and like back and forth and that kind of stuff, and then eventually just got to be to what
you build the foundation, bro. So
that's how it starts.
That's awesome.
For sure.
That's awesome. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but what's a little thing in life that you really enjoy, like a little tiny moment that's like maybe doesn't seem significant but is significant to you and you kind of can like take it in?
Man, probably just being outdoors, being in that kind of environment, probably just chilling during the sunset.
Yeah.
Cameras running a time lapse.
So cameras running a time. I'm trying to paint the picture right now. Cameras running a time lapse.
Yeah.
You're like chilling on like the edge of a cliff or something with like the mountains and like a sunset,
probably.
Yeah. You got any like water, anything like that?
Oh, dude, probably a water.
Okay.
Of course, you got to have the water.
You got to have the water, bro.
Hydrated is
absolutely
key.
Yeah.
So I got that. Probably got a little doobie for sunset. Probably just chilling, enjoying the vibe.
Nice.
Shooting some cool stuff while it happens, and those small moments are always good to just take in.
Take it in. Yeah.
One of the best times.
No, I feel that. There's a few like when I try to when I come to a moment where I'm like, this is like something I need to remember, like I'll just take a second and like try to just like take a deep breath. and like just kind of recognize everything that's around me. Like what does it smell like? Like kind of what is
Yeah.
is there wind happening right now? Like
All those senses
exactly all the
just
senses. And I
happening.
feel like that helps me remember those little moments a little bit more.
Yeah, just gotta be mindful of
Be
like those
mindful.
times where you're like, damn,
Yeah.
this is really cool. Like,
This is
what
special
makes
right
it
here.
cool? You know,
Yeah.
what makes it
Yeah.
cool?
Yeah. For sure.
That's
So yeah, I
cool.
love little things like that,
What's
bro.
your little special moment?
My little special
Yeah.
moments. Let me think. Let's see. It can be anything, honestly. Like I remember when I was in Vegas with Mark and we did the Nations League finals. Like I'm just standing at the bottom of that stadium and like I was just like, I need to just sit here and take this in for a second
Oh
because
yeah.
it's like that's a special moment, you know. Or even I was in California with Spencer one time and we were like right before we went to the airport, we like hiked up like this like or we drove up this big hill and then hiked around to like where these mansions were at. And so we got on like this big rock and there's just like all these crazy mansions around us. And I was like, I just need to take this in for a second. So that was like
Yeah.
another thing. So it's just like anything where I'm like, wow, this is just special. Like I try to just take in all those little senses and be like, okay,
bigger
this is
than
it.
life moments like
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
No, that reminds me of a time in when I was in Australia actually for my study abroad program that I was there, and it was kind of towards the end of it, and I was leaving, and I remember I was just up on this like cliff overlooking the water. There was this crazy sunset happening, and I was just like sitting up there, like I was like, man, like
Yeah.
this is like one of the
This
best
is
things
it.
ever. Like
Mhm.
if I'm ever feeling down, if I'm
Like just
ever
remember
like
this.
contemplating my life, like I just need to like snap back to like this moment
Yeah.
or like take myself somewhere like this and
Mhm.
like realize that like,
Refocus a little
yeah,
bit.
this is like, man, nothing better. And like,
Mhm.
it's powerful, man. It's
It is.
crazy. Like what nature can do to like, just get you reset back on track and
Yeah.
everything. So
Absolutely.
maybe that's why I like shooting landscapes so
Maybe.
much. Like it's just
Yeah.
it's so nice to be out there and some nice like peaceful
Yeah.
scenery and
Mhm.
just nature's healing, man. Like,
It is.
it's crazy what
It
it can
is.
do for you.
Yeah. So what made you want to go study abroad in Australia?
Man, I was kind of in between a few places. I remember I was thinking Europe.
Okay.
But my brother did a study abroad as well, and he went to Amsterdam. So
Okay.
I kind of wanted to do a little different.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to pick places that also have like your program, right? So I was doing exercise science, and there was just a school in Australia that had like a
Right.
health science program.
Gotcha.
And I was like, well, that's probably like one of the doper countries that I would want to go to check out and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's what I
That's
picked.
kind of
And
what it was.
it was
Nice.
pretty awesome, man. It
Yeah, I
was
bet.
a good experience. And
Mhm.
I mean, I would recommend
Going-
anybody to do a study abroad because
Yeah.
it was so worth
Something
it.
else.
And,
Mhm.
you know, I got really lucky being on the lottery scholarship.
Oh
I
yeah.
was paying the same tuition I would have been paying
Really
in here, you know,
in Albuquerque.
yeah,
Yeah.
just because it's through UNM.
That's
you know,
wild.
So
Yeah, that's
I was
super
paying
cool.
same semester price, but I was in
Mhm.
fucking Australia. Like,
Is there anything you learned about living in Australia, like about life, just anything that's like kind of stuck, like that you appreciate more, or like sticks out to you now, or like something that you learned there that you wouldn't have really feel like you may not have learned if you didn't go? Because I feel like that's kind of like a scary thing. Like you're a college kid, you're kind of just like, you know, I'm gonna go study abroad. Like I'm gonna go move. Like you know, I don't know
yeah,
how far it is, like 3,000 miles, whatever. You know, I feel like there's a
that's
little
a
bit of
long
fear.
way for
Yeah.
sure. And I mean, yeah, I think it was a huge shift for me personally because
Hmm.
that whole time I did a lot of like other traveling too.
Yeah.
So when I first flew out there, I actually went to New Zealand first,
Okay.
and I traveled for 2 weeks solo, backpacking, just going to hostels and stuff.
Yeah.
And then did my study abroad in Australia for the whole semester. And then that summer, since we had summer break, I decided to stay kind of on that side of the world, and I traveled for the whole summer in like Southeast Asia. So I was in
That's
Thailand,
crazy.
I
I
was
didn't
in
know that.
Bali.
That's so wild, man. Yeah.
And I was just doing all that, and I was just doing it solo. And I think doing stuff like that was like probably one of the biggest like shifts for me because
Mhm.
you just learn so much about how the world works, you know,
Yeah.
those skills that you don't really learn unless you do it, you know, like
Mhm.
traveling teaches you a lot that you just don't get from going to school or from just living in
Right.
your own
So
city. Like you
actual
have
life
to,
experience
you got to
that you get.
figure out so much stuff on your own that like you wouldn't even think about or
Yeah.
consider.
Uh-huh.
And it just like, yeah, it teaches you a lot that way. So I think those times were pretty big in like just
Hmm.
growing as a person, like going
Yeah.
out there solo for, you know, I was probably there for like over 8 months or so, just like
That's crazy, man. That's
figuring
crazy.
it out.
Yeah.
Different
Yeah,
countries are all different. You know, Australia was pretty easy because it's like just here, but they drive on the other side of the road
Yeah.
and speak a
Just
little different,
there's
you
only
know?
one difference.
Yeah, little differences,
Uh-huh.
but still, I mean, when I went to like Thailand and stuff, that's when it was like, wow,
Kind of like a
like
culture shock.
big time, you
Yeah.
know, like there'd be places where no one would know English and like, you know, there's
Bro,
just like
what?
a lot of stuff that was
Yeah.
just way different.
Do you know any other languages? No? Okay, I
Nah,
was just curious.
nah.
No worries.
I'm
Fair
gonna
enough.
try and learn
Fair enough,
Spanish
bro.
again, but
Yeah. Fair enough.
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine, like, especially 8 months, like, that's a long time to be kind of just going all over the place, so that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Definitely was wild.
I met this dude in Minneapolis one time, and he was from Chicago, but he moved to Seattle for like a year because he was like, I guess he was like kind of feeling down or something was going on in his life. He's like, I need to just move. And so he moved, and he told me that was just like one of the best things that he ever did because he learned so much about himself and just how to appreciate things and like just everything. So that's why I was like, oh, I wonder if like you kind of had a similar experience. And it sounds like, yeah, I kind of
100%. Yeah, and that was the big thing too, is like in those other like third world countries and stuff, like being from where we are, it's like
So
you just
lucky, bro.
look back and you're just like, man, like I can't bitch about nothing. Like, bro, these people are so happy with nothing, and like they're living in like shacks and like still functioning. They've still lived their whole life up until like, you know, their adulthood living this way, and they still make it work and they're still happy. And it just like goes to show you that there's a lot of other ways to the world out there, and like everybody works differently, and like
it's like people in America, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. But we have like this false sense of the way the world actually is. Because we're like, oh, we just go and, you know, we buy our groceries and we go back and we shoot a podcast. No, I'm playing. But
no, that's it. Though,
but I mean, yeah, right. But I mean, you know, people have to go like actually like survive, you know. And so I feel like that's like at the basis of like, you know, what living is like, that's what it is, right? And all these other things are luxuries that we've gotten through like other people's like, you know, sacrifices that they've done. So it's wild. Yeah,
big time. I mean, there's so many just little things you could take from like people that have it less, you know, that like make it work. And you can just take those and like, you might not need the nicest thing, like still get by just fine.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I'm still on the A73.
Yep. Hey, bro, you're keeping it, you know, keeping down to the roots, bro. That's funny. Cool. I was gonna ask one other thing. So just photographers like in Albuquerque. Who are some of your favorites before?
So ton of great shooters in the city, man. There's been a ton of people that I've always kind of, you know, looked up to over the years and stuff, but I got to shout out Josh Lane.
Yep.
You know,
that guy, bro.
He's a beast.
He's that guy. I want to talk with him on here one day.
You got to bring him in here, man. He's in town right now. I'm pretty
He is
sure.
in town? What the heck?
I remember seeing him.
I didn't know that, bro.
In Mexico, so
you gotta hit him up.
In here
I gotta hit him up tomorrow. I will, bro. I literally will, bro. That's crazy.
But yeah, Josh Lane. He's been a shooter ever since I started, and he's, to this day, you know,
goated.
Putting out images that, man,
dude, sometimes where I look and I'm like, what am I looking at, bro? It's so insane, bro. It's so insane.
He just got that skill set, and you know, he's a really cool guy, and he's got everything figured out. He's young too, which is crazy. I remember when I met him, he was younger than me, but he looked way older than me. And I'm like,
I always thought he was older, but he's like what, like 26, I think, or something like that.
Probably now.
So
he's a young gun, and I mean, he had it figured out. Like he was running Lobo life, you know, telling all these people what to do as like a, you know, 21, 22-year-old probably, you know, organizing all this shit. So that was just like really inspirational to me, like to see what
that makes sense.
These kids are doing, you know, and like
these kids,
man, they ain't
kids now,
grown adults around here. Wow, these kids are doing it for themselves, and that's what's cool about, you know, social media these days. Is like you don't have to have some boss or something. Like you could be a kid making your own life happen just by having a phone. You know, it's crazy these days. It is crazy. So you know, there's a lot of people making it for themselves just like that way. But I mean, a lot of inspiration in the city. Man,
no, it makes
sure.
Sense. No doubt.
One of my big inspirations is by Brandino.
Oh my gosh, the way you snuck that up, bro.
He's a young beast.
So funny, bro. From the Berkey, fool.
From the Berkey, like, he's another up and coming star for sure.
That's hilarious. Thanks, bro.
Of course, no, your shit is insane. You
It's
also
funny.
kill it on all facets, you know,
All facets.
design.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey.
You're always like doing podcasts, making videos,
Trying, bro.
doing vlogs. Like, dude, you're getting
Little vlogs,
creative
bro.
with this.
Little cat. What is it? I don't forget what I even called them, bro. The little
So,
capturing Brandino, and then like the Daily
yeah,
Dino
the
too, bro.
daily
I'm gonna bring it
Dinos.
back. I'm gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
After I leave you in ammo, I'm gonna bring it back. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotta have time for it and stuff for
Exactly,
sure.
exactly.
But
Yeah, not for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, there's a lot of people here. It's crazy.
A lot of people here for sure. And then of course, like just all over the world, man. There's shooters everywhere that I follow and just look up to and impressed by. And I always try and kind of like follow people that I want to be inspired by and like stuff I want to be doing. Like, of course, you can find like amazing photographers out there, and like,
Right.
sometimes I'll just have to pass on following them because I'm like, I don't.
Right. That's
like,
not really what I'm
like,
interested
it's
in.
so dope, but it's
Yeah,
like
it's not my
I
thing.
want to try and like narrow down
Yeah.
my follow, like the people I follow, to like what I want to be seeing and like
Right. Makes total
replicating
sense.
and like, you know, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
another one that comes to mind is like Aaron Brimhall, beast
Goated.
mode,
Absolute
like
legend, bro.
I'd
So cracked.
strive to just be an ounce of that dude's skill.
Even like his I'll see him doing like these crazy muscle ups and like
that's what I'm saying,
insane,
bro.
bro.
His
He's
whole
the goat.
life,
He's
like
the goat,
he's
bro.
got a beautiful family.
Yeah,
He's got
yep.
sick cars. He's got sick
Insane.
skills.
Yeah, he's cracked.
fit,
He's
like,
wild. He's wild.
He's an inspiration for sure.
He is.
So yeah, him. There's some shooters out in the cities that I always looked up to, like this guy named Trash Hand, really dope. Last Suspect, First. Those are all kind of like some very early on shooters that I've just stuck with.
Yeah.
You know, since I began, and they're always just like, when I think of what I want to be doing, that's like they're doing it. You know, so I just try and keep pushing that.
So to what level do you want to take it? Like, do you want to be like the next Aaron Brimhall, or like, you know, where you're just shooting like in Italy one day, or like in Paris with a Porsche, and then you're like out in like the boonies doing like some dirt bike stuff? Like,
dude,
is that kind of like the?
That's goals for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what it takes to get to his level like that.
Something,
but,
bro.
You know,
something.
I do want to keep on pushing this photo stuff, this media.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of opportunity out there still, and what's really been a big part recently for me is just shooting stuff that I enjoy and I really like in tune with and stuff. So
yeah,
one thing like I've always thought that would be cool is to get just, you know, a group of like close guys together that I know and that I trust and stuff, and you know, make a small team that way and just shoot things that we vibe with, you know, and that would be fun, you know, and that's always the goal. And so
yeah,
we'll see what comes of that.
Makes sense, bro. Yeah, I'm excited for when that happens. Whenever you do it, bro, I'll be rooting, bro. You already know. You already know.
Much love.
Cool. Well, let's wrap it up, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there any last words? Anything you want to tell? Anything you tell your past self?
My
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I was trying to be really corny and give you like what would you tell your younger self if you could, with the knowledge you have right now? Anyway,
stick with it,
bro.
Just keep on pushing.
Wise words from Zack Coker, aka Z Cokes, aka slightly crispy, unless you got soggy bread. I don't even know what I'm saying. We don't like soggy bread. Only slightly crispy, bro. Yeah. Come on now. Yeah. Actually, though, slightly crispy bread, like bread, just toast it enough to where you get a little crunch, but not too much.
Dude,
goated.
Oh yeah.
Is that where you got the name from?
No,
it's like no, bro. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about, dude. Because what I do sometimes, I do this with my tuna fish
sandwiches. Your tuna fish sandwiches? Okay.
Yeah,
Wait. Do you like tuna from Subway?
Man, that's a trick question.
No, I love it.
I eat it.
Okay. Anyway, go back to yours.
Tart dolphin or something, and I'm like, well, fuck.
No, dude. Okay, go back to your tuna sandwich.
What I do, so I get my 2 slices of bread. I put them together. And then I put both of them in the one toaster slot.
The one toaster slot.
Yeah, so it's like.
So they're jam packed.
Yeah, but then when they get toasted, they come out, and only the outsides are toasted.
Right.
But then the insides are like fresh bread, like it never got toasted at all. It's
bro,
soft.
you're a genius.
And dude, that is the best way.
You're a genius. I've never, bro. This guy is crazy.
Try it out next time.
I will try that out. That's
it'll
wild.
Change your life.
I'm about to try that out.
It's the only way to go down on a tuna fish sandwich.
Okay, bet.
Yep.
Say less. I'm trying that 100%.
It's so
100%.
good, bro. Crunchy
Crazy.
And then just soft and warm on the inside.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Sound like, never mind, I was going to say something really out of
And
pocket. Instead of doing
it's
that,
the
I'm
end
just
of the
gonna.
show.
Yeah, it's
It's
the end of
getting
the show.
wild.
It's the end of the show. We're not going to midnight hours right now. So see y'all later. Sheesh.